Hi, Catherine Eyring here. I wanted to give you some tips for your workouts, just so that you're working out more efficiently. Because I always feel like if I'm going to take the time to work out, then I want to do it in a way that it's really supporting me and building my muscles and not causing any harm. So let's start with building your biceps. These would be your Popeye muscles right here that men call their guns. All right, so when I am working biceps, I always say squeeze your elbows in, because you can see that automatically, just that inward pressure, it engages my biceps. So now when I'm working with the weights, they're already engaged. Now, here's something I noticed. People tend to squeeze their hands, and you can relax your hands more and just work that inner pressure into the waist, and the hands don't have to have that much pressure on them. Now, if we turn this way, same thing. You can keep your fingers pretty loose, but squeeze in your elbows. So there's one tip. Take a look at yourself from the side and just notice as you're lifting, are you doing this? Because this is putting undue pressure into the back. So you want to have your shoulders back, standing up tall, and be able to move without having your back change at all. So the core is held tight, the hands are rather loose, the elbows have pressure in toward my waist, and I'm being efficient because all the work is going into my biceps, and I'm reducing any type of injury to my back. So when you're working on squats, let me turn this down a little so you can see. If you're working on the squats, you want your bottom to go back, not your knees forward. Let me show you what I'm talking about. I think it's good to start with the chair there. That way you can feel more comfortable. Like, you're just squatting like if you're going to sit in the chair. Here's what I often see. The knees go forward. It's a funny thing. And that's not the same as this. All right, so take a look at yourself sideways in a mirror and see how you do with that. Let's see another one, triceps. If we were to work on our triceps, I've got one foot forward and I've got my arm behind. I'm going to push back. So I'm working these muscles in the back of the arm. Notice my shoulders are not up here. So when I see people back here, I'm thinking, well, their back might hurt. If you're forward, you've got all the pressure into your triceps. Now, showing you from this perspective, sometimes I see the arm back here because the shoulders aren't squared. So I'm going to try to square your shoulders best you can. Now take a look at my wrist. Here's another one. Sometimes I see this. And what you want is a nice straight wrist. Not this, not this, this. Nice and straight. So every time you're holding your weights, take a look. Is your wrist nice and straight? Another tip. Let's see. When we're working knees to elbow, something like this, what I see is this, and I'd rather just work not touching knee to elbow, not worrying about that, and just lifting your knee as best you can and keeping yourself upright so that we're not leaning over and working that way. You can see I just lost my balance. All right, another thing, lateral leg lifts. When we're working on those, I'll step back here. My toes are straight forward, and sometimes I see toes out. And so that is not the same as the muscles we're using when the toes stay forward and it's going up. And then sometimes I see this. And that's not the same either. So I'm going to try to keep yourself upright. You can definitely hold a chair in front of you and try to keep up as upright as you can. And work it like that. Here's our cactus arms. But sometimes I see it like this. And that is because you have an inner rotation of the shoulders. What we're trying to do is get the shoulders rolled back so that you can have your goalpost arms or cactus arms. So we're working the elbows forward, the back of the hands back, and it's creating tension in the back as I'm using my back muscles to hold it back and squeezing together. Here's another thing, when I talk about squeezing together the back, it's not always just like this. It's a rotation and then squeezing back. Hopefully you can see the difference. It made my back broader as I brought it back. It's working that outer rotation. Here's another tip. Sometimes when I'm working one leg out, see, I'm keeping all my weight in the standing leg, but sometimes what I see is this. So you can practice this with a chair in front of you, or maybe smaller steps, or just less of them. But really the move is keeping all weight on your standing leg. Same thing, both sides. Okay.